task this afternoon is to moderate a session on land development. Ladies and gentlemen, I now introduce Mr. Abdurrahman Job to come and deliver on thematic area land development.
Firstly, when we talk about land, it has different definitions. Different people define it in different ways. But in our own case as agriculturists, we see land in a perspective that we think there are four important components that we are more interested in, and these are the soil, water, fauna and flora. These are the things that we are most concerned with as far as land is concerned. Of course, other specialists will define land in different ways anyway. But for us agriculturists, this is what we are more interested in. It is very intrinsically linked to the global challenges of food security, climate change, poverty, and even the adaptation to climate change, as well as the degradation of this natural resource. And this, we all know, affects the livelihood of millions of people around the world, including the Gambia. So therefore, policymakers and development partners need objective, quantitative, cost-efficient and practical assessments of land degradation and the associated risks to justify, target and prioritize investments in agriculture. Soil is a component of land, and issues with soil directly or indirectly affect land in general. Most of the time we talk about land development in this country. By that, we are more interested in having heavy machinery, plowing land, leveling land, creating structures, irrigation structures, make it nice, and whoever does it, be it a project or whoever, is praised. But we don't normally think about the soil itself on which the crops are to be grown in that particular land. And most of the time we spend a lot of money so-called developing land. At the end of the day, the soil there is not suitable for the purpose for which we want to use it for. Gambian soils, generally the whole country is divided into what we call soil associations. 24 of them are present in the Gambia. Out of these 24 associations, 70% are within the upland area and 30% are within the lowland area. And in the upland area, you have about 13 associations. These are associations 1 to 12 and 24. And in the lowland, you have the rest of the associations. That means from 13 to 23. Upland soils are located on the erosional surfaces of the plateau. That is, a plateau we mean the highlands. On the colluvial slopes, the interfluves or transitional zones. These are all zones from the plateau downstream to where we are. And the other one is the lowlands, which is the alluvial or floodplains. Floodplains are where we normally grow our rice, where you have, and this is where most of the salt intrusion also occurs most.
Thank you very much, Abdurrahman Job. I think you have done justice to the topic. I wouldn't summarize a lot, maybe few points. By the way, control room, you will be asked to play a short video on Jahal Pajari. Jahal Pajari. There is power. Jahal Pajari.
fii mooy jaaxal Fatick léegi faro yi ren soo gisee problème bi bari faro yu bari tracteurs yi mënuñ koo ko bi dafa am ndox tracteurs yi am doole bu duggee foofu danay tuuf mënuñ koo liggéey am na faro genn wàll bi faro yi foofu dafa am ndox partout léegi kii véeri bu war a indi ndox bi boobu lañ kii waxtu buñ ko waxtu ndox bi du mën a def léegi foofu benn wàll boobu foofu yëpp benn wàll faro bi yëpp amul ndox def ne ñu ne mënuñ am ndox am nañu kuy fawoon sax ba pare kuy fay woo affaire bi yëpp mu yàq beneen problème bi affaire tracteur yi te do matero ata ko ndola na dum daje akati tume dañu ko ñewa yoro dum daje du dara moo ko ndola loolu moo suñu problème ren loolu moo ñu yaaxal fi parce que faro bi benn wàll bi lañ bàyyi genn wàll bi bàyyi léegi lu ñu bàyyi bi yëpp ñooñu suñu borom mënuñ am dara mënuñ am dund ñooñu ci coono rek li ngeen nekkate rek mono da ko yata do biye kasanola do biye kasanola saako bi 2,800 lañ ko jëndee fii ñu def ko si faro beneen engrais bi boobu 2,750 léegi soo xoolee loolu beneen affaire la yisuno jambano dokubamu ni mo tela gay aso mo wa doku sabakono ngalo ko tin ngalo
Jangan pasal tractor driver macam mai paman. Wahyu you pharmacy you guru depan dulu. Sini fa jam yon. Bos kuna ka sapulon. Yo bukan mudah depan orang. Mana mesti kana no jiwa muka mau sopan. Kalau masih magbo, even the rain season, so mudah hati dok lefoy hati, jumnya mesin, nyenti mesin di mau juga, nyenti mesin di mau hati, mesin di jauh kan jauh lah mas, nyew be, dan dua di ruangnya, ya seperti ini, seperti irrigation, irrigation. Li mu la jox ci maalo bi mun na am moo ko ko mu taayal leen mun a jox affaire matériels mooy gasoil diw ak machine si man si li ma foofu loolu tax yaa dem ceeb mu oo China si the chain irrigation to Thailand. Ang nangyyo beri sama atimin na. Jahat pacar parafulan. Jahat pacar nyar paru kumuna dundan. Leo, fok New York ci opla ak yeneen fini. Bega am nañ wo mun naa la wax ne jaaxal pacar su ko mun na lu dana sori lu Musa daa ko def lu Bakiri def suñ kenn private sector ñëwee su defee loolu kon ñun suñu bon fii suñu coono dafa wàññeeku Bakiri Musa amul ka andoo kule ya masa kundama ko nyadile ikaba kole ma din ala na president ya lonko attain sifa le musano sifa mekere nyanta wonne ko mandila ayo funada do ko jide wala ne pamason ma ko la.
I think tidal irrigation potential in Gambia is a very uncommon asset. You will not see this kind of system anywhere in West Africa. It's a very big asset. The poor yield you are getting from this system is not due to because you have tidal irrigation. It's due of the fact that you have a very bad design or a very management, management. So if you get to have a very good design of tidal irrigation and you are about you can manage the water use, you will get the 8 metric ton like a pumping system. The Chinese who came to change from pumping system, they are not crazy. They know how to do it. They are very specialists. What we have, we are facing challenging because the system is not well designed and well managed.
The presentations were magnificent and very rare. But why we are here is looking at land issues, access and use. How do we access and use land, particularly for rice production? I think we should try to look at that, because I have been fortunate to work with the irrigated scheme, particularly in the upper river, in the central river region. Some of them are white elephants right now, and they were purposely intended to have 2 crops per year minimum. You cannot have even a successful single crop per year with a very convenient yield. Where is the problem? I will thank the Africa Rice DG. We have a problem and we should try to know where the problem is. My second issue or comment will be on land development. On land development, we are only not looking at heavy equipment. There are other equipments and materials. One of the presenters said land is, or the soil is being destroyed by wrong operators. And in rice production, land preparation contributes almost 50% of the yield. The scientists are here. Some of those informations we got from the scientists. Coming back to land use, we cannot have developed lands left lying within these regions. Policies have to be developed so that this land is being utilized, whether reclaimed, the ownership, the policy can pay dividend to the owners, but let the land be used for the purpose of getting this food self-sufficiency.
My contribution is going towards access to land. First and foremost, you can only access land if it is available, land for agriculture. And what I have seen happening in the Gambia, especially in this area, where we have a lot of encroachment by the estate developers, little land will be left for agriculture. So I think we should also concentrate our efforts on regulatory measures. So to have that, we need collaboration of different institutions. The Ministry of Local Government, I don't know if they are here, they were invited, but they are very key in this. They should be here, the Ministry of Agriculture and the Ministry of Local Government, plus the NGOs and the communities. I think we really need to sit together and see how best we can preserve the little arable land that is left. Because in the Congos, most of the gardens the women are using for their tandakos and all that, they are all gone now. Everything is a residential area. So how can we increase rice production if every land is turned into a residential area? Talking about women's access to land, I'm not going to talk far about that. If you look around in this hall, we have far more men than women. And rice, we talk about rice production. Since I was young, rice was a female crop. And now that the value of rice has gone up, men has taken over the production of rice. If you give, if you give land to women, you give them the required input, you support them, you invest in women, we will be rice self-sufficient. I don't know about the men, but if you give it to the women, they will do it. We have seen only 2 women, and in the panel discussion, we see what they were able to do.
I believe if we want to have food self-sufficiency, the onus is on government, is development. And any development has a cost, either socially or infrastructurally. But for my own belief, when I was in CRR, then Musa was at Sapo, Mbenga. I worked with Peter. I can remember when the fields in Dobong Kunda were open. We used to have, that was in 1998 precisely, they used to have 3.5 tons per hectare. The tillering of the rice, some goes up to 24 tillers per one stand. Let us look internally. That's my concern. Let us look internally at the ministry. 1998 to date, if things are going down, you have more qualified personnel now than before. Then I was the head of food security in Axonet. But I know I work with them because they used to use my inputs for the construction of the dikes and other things, free. I give it to Sidu, then Sidu was the head. Sidu Jalu. Let's look at ourselves internally, please, PS. It is very hard to say the truth, but we have to speak the truth today and tomorrow. Let's look internally. There is a problem. If I want to be a PhD holder, my interest is to be called doctor. But my output needs to be looked at. It has to coincide with my professor.
We private sector players, these are the two issues that have been discussed today, which is access to land and land preparation. We know how expensive land preparation is, and government has developed a lot of land, be it, some of it is not, we cannot cultivate on it, as Mr. Sane just showed us here. Out of 7,000 is only 2,000 something that can be utilized. But even with that 2,000 that is available, it's giving to farmers that are not using it. I'll give you an example. I've been in this business now for about 2.5 years. I've spent my own resources, that's why I got into it. A lot of it, and I didn't make a dime yet. I've to rent land that is being left abandoned or idle for 23 years. People can attest to it. I went and I have to pay $3,000 a plot. And I have to rehabilitate that land, hire excavator, fix the gates, do a lot of work. We all know what it takes. That's a lot of money. But government is going about in land development, and it is given to communities just to sit back and rent it to us, we the private sector, and we are talking about, are we serious about rice self-sufficiency?
Concern for LRR for rice production, because LRR is known as the basket of rice production, but now it's a problem there. Why is a problem? We have acidity, alkalinity. They are one of the biggest problems, whereby we cannot able to access road, another problem, whereby if we want to intervene, we need to look into that. Land development is another problem, whereby some of the presenters have just said that in LRR, some of the problems are highlighted, particularly by Brad. But the major challenge we are having now, LRR, we are mainly concentrating on rain-fed agriculture, particularly in urban area. Our major challenge there is animal nutrition. In animal rearing, we have 3 systems, but the other system actually has affected the production of any crop we are growing in LRR. The extensive rearing of animals. Farmers will grow their crop. At the end of the day, you will have zero harvest. because of animals are not controlled. They take them to the chief because of their relatives. They say, okay, I forgive. Whilst inwardly they are not forgive. So these are something which government need to look at. At the end of the day, we see how can we encourage our farmers to go in for rain-fed agriculture, but yet still without no other hindrance, particularly on the side of stray animals. So this is a major concern. Land development is very important for LRR. It needs to be done in order for us to bring the basket of rice production in the region. Many people desire to live, and again, fertilizer is another issue. Mechanization is another issue. We need to look into all that. At the end of the day, when you harvest, combined harvester is a problem. We don't have those ones. We have only one tractor we have only 4 tractors in LRR. We have 6 regions, 6 districts, only 4 tractors. So with that, what can we do? At the end of the day, we are always blamed. When you take it to a particular community, others blame you. So I think this needs to be looked at. No power tiller, only few power tillers are there. So if we want also go in for mechanization, it means we need to look into all that.
Rice value chain, as we all know, ends up on the plate. And on the plate, we all yearn to have, to get the maximum palatability of the rice. And in order to achieve that, we usually have fish on it, so that it will be palatable. In the same vein, if you cultivate the two together on the field, you are going to get positive results, just like as we have positive results on the plate. Rice and fish together yields high, and in this way, it reduces the cost of the fertilizer requirement. It reduces fertilizer requirement for the plot, and therefore increases productivity of the rice. Fertilizer will be provided in the form of excreta and also in the form of unconsumed feed. And if you simultaneously grow rice and fish together, you will also be able to recycle, because you will feed the fish with feed which has the main ingredient as rice bran is the main ingredient. So in that way, you are recycling the byproduct of the rice back into the land, and if it is uneaten, it turns into fertilizer. This will require, believe it, if you try it, you will find that your yield is higher than, is high without use of fertilizer.
Mali be kontona adum bi beon kontanta la baki bari ngalo ne ko Gambia dinkendo beti ni mitu mabe nola modol be ko mala men yalo wal kolayata katambintel adu hammo be la katambintel bari ala intel harije kana mabe ni mitindula ka hakilo li tande nyola bi mitu akuma yata bakele te lafta diam la karo menna wolem nata ka hakilo li tande nyola bari mbe nyaaje nyola bari senodron wala be Gambia sambandi nola nyaato bari Gambia ba no tole foto modol kaje be say kan ko wala adum fama wuli la nga senoki bari be senoki nola nyaadile lonnali atelle be siri adum mbuloni nyaani simu atelleti abi keno la nyaame wala ali ma koy me mano sene la dame ali a banko tembendi nye ni kuma folo timbe men folo ali banko tembendi nye ali be banko dame tembendi la nye nin saate wala tama be laari saate wala alkana moni boala alkana tala mol tema abitar la laari ne menga seno hammo soto nana ta ko lafta hectare fulala do ko la sole do ko ali hadiya memman seno hammo soto abi sirin meni seno hammo soto ya keno dila bari te kelo talano la moli tema kunko be talani moli tema do be siri ata senola do be lafirin senola ata sotola ata kenola nditano la nyato kono woto ni aliye na kelo tembendi nje ndal lasudu ko baale membe je wolam faro membe do ko kan kafo la tamu mani sene kafo men nata ngani o cika ngadi la men tuta siri keno belari ni wulta wato ngani o dila mo bali jela adum te amira nyine nyanta tamal bari ni koy be keno talala mol tema iba ke tala nyo tema nin kari fata di ngula tam jan nin kari fata di ngula tam jan nyata sini jomal keno be sotola ba ata sotola bari ni faro belari alle gulil mbandi do ko be ke kanje ni lamini nata akon tese hectare tanne do ko non bara ko be musala ko anata musa ka kay laftan debel hectare tanne do ko non ay ta hectare tan kunto adiala men nyanta kelati ayaki man sabata sotola musa bata sotola membe seno ke kanja bata sotola banko bita nyatole nde lafta diyam la nyin dulanda dukare kelo kenna karo oto sono yata baken men kumma yata binya bitilinde menna wala al banko dadanye al land develop nga do ko ke ameta fola biriya jammetilo ako 2016 janni wote Gambia ba fa sotla mano karo amanke bimbe mo defoka ngo janni 2030 akana sidalo dia mo takela bukarali no mama ngake dunya mo atelleti nsi mo atelleti ngulo mate ngo docteur mane hayna abi do ko African rice bari ntel tata vistina je na Senegal je be do ko men wati tambita Senegal mano aka Senegal samba kari woro Senegal te mano kumandila bantala bari bi asiata hotilen mane ketantel tono na banko le beti atela bankoti ntel la banko wala beti atela bankoti sinya keme munan ntel tono ando akata lali bi janna ngo ba jam fata Senegal la doku la mel e ka ba sin ka saba ka katande o Senegal e doku oki Gambia be sirim bada mune ketantel doku oki